Hey, how's everybody doing out there? Phil Monteleone, the Book Peddler. If you haven't, I hope you like and subscribe to my Book Peddler YouTube channel. You stay up to date on book picks, in-store, out-store activity, book reviews, and things like this. I started a playlist on business experiences, buying and selling, and actually the videos are doing all right for the most part. I've been getting some good feedback on them, and so I had a very frustrating experience today in buying, and I made a video previously about my favorite part of the business of doing this business, and it's the people. Well, you know what my least favorite part of this business is? It's the people. There, multiple times a year, situations like this happen to me, and it's very frustrating. And it has to do with buying books off of private individuals, and I'm gonna explain the situation in brief, and a couple others that have happened in the past. It's a very funny thing. People are funny, and they're generally a real pain in the ass sometimes to deal with. And I'll also give you though a couple of little tips I picked up on towards the end about how to better set yourself up for a buy and properly go about it. You know, everyone's different, has their particularities, I guess, and how you approach it. It's kind of an art in certain regards. But let's get to the quick story here. I was referenced, and I calmed down the old testosterone level from the morning because it completely ruined my morning. But I get a call. I was referenced to go on a book pick, right? And so my understanding was, okay, I'm gonna go and make an offer on these books, typical day. Okay. Now, apparently, what was said on the phone was she might not want to sell everything. Understandable, no hard feelings, you know. And I told her, hey, any questions you got, excuse me, feel free to ask. I'm an open book. I don't mind sharing information. Excuse me, telling you how I'm going about this, right? Well, apparently she had done her own research, apparently before, and had her notes about the value or her perceived value on the books. And the thing was, is that her information was wrong. And people don't like being told that they're wrong. There was a 2 volume set, and I did my research ahead of time. And it was a, you got to be careful with these things. She thought it was a first edition. It wasn't the case. I explained to her when the first publication was. There was also different presentations of this book. It was a 2 volume set on the Civil War. It was a nice set, but there's like 3 or 4 different presentations of the book. She thought that the book had sold for over $400 a set. It was incorrect completely. How do I know this? Because I checked out the previous sales of the set that she had. The only set that was listed close to $400 was different presentation. It had gold stamping in the boards, and it was a true first edition. To make a long story short, so I try to explain that, but there wasn't much reception here going on, or enough respect to what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eye. I have a storefront here. I got a reputation, and I'm not in to deceive people and rob them blind. And I'll tell you, for those of you that think this business is a wholesome business, there's a lot of dirty, underhanded behavior that goes on. You know how many dealers I trust that I've met? I can count them on my fingers. 3. 2 of them don't even live in this state. A lot of them are sneaky and have no conscience towards screwing someone over. And that's not me. I wasn't raised like that. Yeah, I need to make my money, of course. I'm not going to turn this into a rant. I'm gonna stick to the main point here. I felt very disrespected. Multiple times it was said, well, I could sell these myself on eBay. Well, good luck to you. Good luck. I mean, I don't expect people to understand exactly what I do. Most people think I read all day, which is not the case at all. Unfortunately, I don't get much time to read at all anymore, which is sad. But it's a very difficult job selling and marketing these books. And the particular ones that she had, it was basically like you had to learn a whole new language to describe the book properly. And if you already got your information wrong, you're not doing so hot in that regards. Every single book dealer that I went to, when I asked them for advice, any advice that they could give me about starting a used bookstore, they said don't do it. And I absolutely understand why now. And it's not just because of different experiences like this, but it is a very difficult business to get into. There's a lot of stresses and a lot of behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. And when you're putting out good money, you get money tied up in your inventory. And books, they generally take quite a while to sell. You have to be patient. These books wouldn't sell overnight. I made a very nice offering, and she said she called back today. I knew I wasn't going to get a call, so that's how it goes. One danger on a pick that I've realized, and it may have happened today, is overeducating the seller on what they have. Again, I'm an open book. I don't mind sharing information, but when I do share information about material, I also have to keep in mind to bring it back around to make them understand that I have a business and I have to make money. But I'm giving them cash now, and then I do the work. Now, I've had experiences before where people will shop the material around after you're giving them a quote, basically. And to me, it's a little bit disrespectful. I don't fault anyone for trying to get, you know, as much money as they can out of it, but these people will try to squeeze every last dollar, and um, maybe they just don't understand that they're better off just taking this money and rolling with it. And some people, they it's not stubbornness. I think it's like to save face almost, that they would sell it cheaper to someone else just so that they don't have to look like an idiot when they're calling me back saying, does the deal still stand? Well, I don't know if it still stands, to tell you the truth, because now I'm seeing you a little bit differently. Now I'm feeling a little bit disrespected, and it doesn't fly well with me at all. So by all means, try to sell it by yourself. But there was a couple other points that I had, but the main thing about overeducating somebody is that even though I try to put it in real simplistic terms at times, you can tell that their brain is computing, and sometimes they're not really. It might be a little bit of too much information, and they start second guessing themselves. I'll tell you a quick story about what happened on a pick a couple years ago. There was a map in there that I really liked, and I wanted it, and I offered them a really nice dollar amount. Now, to this day, these people, I'm sure, think I stole the map from them. They think it was worth thousands, but you know, it's not at all. My dad actually ended up buying the map. I squeezed him real good, of course, on the price. But what happened was I offered such an unexpected sum of money that then they started thinking that everything in that house was worth gold. And it just wasn't the case. And then they started shopping other stuff around, and they sold a bunch of stuff. Hey, it's your stuff. You do what you want. But when you come back to me, well, maybe the price goes down now because you're wasting my time. And, I don't have, I barely got enough time in the day to do what I got to do. And like my whole morning was blown today, basically. It's just, it's very interesting. So I guess if I could sum this, video up, we're going on picks. What I've learned is to what's best is to go in with a game plan, to set the boundaries. Like, no, I don't do consignments. I pay cash. This is what I'm looking for. Can I cherry pick? You set these different boundaries. This person had to correspond with somebody else to see if my offer was okay. Well, maybe it was my fault that I didn't pick the time when they were both there. It's like I say, this is my offer. Do we agree? Excuse me, I gotta take a sip. And what's going on. There was no counter, there was no nothing. And for someone who did all their supposed research, they didn't have a number that they wanted to even get for it in mind. So it's like, well, I guess I got to do all the work and come up with your own number for you. I mean, this is not how this works. So, basically, I guess what I learned is it's best to come in with a game plan, stick with the game plan, get in and out. Don't overeducate people. Most people just care about that do re mi, you know what I'm saying, to begin with. But the approach is very important. Everybody's different, and sometimes you got to cater to people differently. Some people really appreciate that you're giving them, sound information. The one thing that I did that maybe I make a mistake is that she could tell I was a little bit frustrated, and I had every right to be being frustrated. But you can't let that show. And I let it show a little bit, and then I could tell she got a little uncomfortable. And even though I tried to, be nice, then it was apparent that I wasn't too happy. And what can you do? One thing I learned, sometimes you just got to walk away from it. There's always going to be another buy out there. You can't buy everything anyways. And the stuff comes and goes. It'll come. A woman come in my shop today, 3 hours later, locally, and sold me this big 26 volume set that's here. I gave her a nice offer, and then there's another cool set. Look how pretty those look. And so, you know what? I still made a solid buy. Now I do the work to put these up and sell them. But enough of my rambling. I'm not trying to ramble. But I guess this is kind of like a little video vlog thing. Enter the bookman's drama for a minute. It's part of the job. You got to deal with the general public. It's one of the reasons why I never wanted to have a storefront. But of course, it's also been a great blessing because of the wonderful people I met. I hold no hard feelings or resentment towards this woman. It can be maybe a little confusing at times, but I did just feel a little bit disrespected and felt like what I was saying wasn't really being acknowledged or even understood. I mean, you can ask questions and there was no questions being asked. So anybody in this line of work, I'm sure, has had to deal with this aspect of the business, and it's my least favorite part. Completely is. So the one hand, I love the people. The other hand, man, some of them just, boy, they can't see it from your perspective. And I guess that's just a reality of the situation. So anyways, all right, I'm done. I'm sick of talking about it. Day's done, over. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the thing. Like and subscribe if you haven't. If you hit the little notification bell, it notifies you when a new video pops up. Hope everybody's well out there. Until next time, we'll see you.